Greek Freak is the MVP right now. How about that? And you know what? I've never given my name up before, but I'm giving it to him. He's the new Superman.
You're giving the new Superman nickname to the Greek Freak?
Yes, I am.
Who
yes,
can't hit a three-pointer yet, Shaq? Can he at least hit a jump shot first?
I didn't hit no three-pointer either, but he's dominating, and that's what I like. You dominating in the paint, you taking it to the hole, you throwing it down, you ain't shooting no flip shots. He did something last night. I was like, you know what? This kid can play. So I denied myself as Superman, and I'm giving it to the Greek Freak.
Max Kellerman.
I love this so much.
Giannis? New Superman?
I love this so much. And Stephen A., great work out of you. You have to understand what this is about. Shaq is exactly right. Shaq was the one player in modern NBA history performing at an MVP caliber level and only scored in the paint, took it to the rack. That's how he got his points. See, free throw line, too. Can't do anything about that. But that's where he's, well, not taking jump shots and fadeaways, and like he had a little hook there, but it's all in the paint. He's taking it strong. Patrick Ewing with a fadeaway, and Hakeem with a jump shot, and David Robinson had a variety of ways to score. And even when you look at the little guys, the high flyers that we think of as ultra aggressive, Jordan and Kobe, they developed an outside game, and that's good. That's great. It makes them even better, right? KD can score smoothly from anywhere. Even LeBron shoots the three from certain spots very well in the deep three. Obviously, Steph. Show me an MVP caliber player since Shaq who only gets it in the paint. He only takes it to the rack. That's where the Greek Freak scores, and that's why Shaq is saying him. He's taking it strong every time. That guy can be Superman. I love it.
It makes total sense that Shaq would make that claim. You're right about that because Antetokounmpo is averaging 27 and 13 right now on 57% shooting, 11% from three-point range, 11. Okay, and from the free throw shooting, he's not quite as bad as Shaq was, but he's at 68%. Here is the only thing, and I don't have a problem with Shaq's, proclamation or whatever, because it makes total sense. He's right. Here's the only thing that I would say to y'all: Shaq was unstoppable. He was a physical freak of nature. He was 350 pounds. He was the most dominant force of our lifetime outside of Wilt Chamberlain. This is what we've seen. The Greek Freak is something special. But because of his muscular but slim frame, even though he gets to the rack, dribbling the ball, creating his own path to the basket, the dominance that Shaq is speaking to is not something that has worked for the Greek Freak, nor do I think will work come playoff time. Now, he averaged 25, 9, and 6 against Boston in their 7-game series last year. But when it really, really counted, you could find a way to neutralize him because he couldn't shoot. Whereas with Shaq, there was no way to neutralize him because he was so massive.
You may be right. If the Greek Freak had a three-point shot, he'd be the best player in the game, including LeBron.
Yes,
I mean, if he could really shoot it. But that's the point. You just said Shaq was a physical freak. Freak is in Antetokounmpo's name, the Greek Freak. In other words, of all the freaks that we've seen,
but that's not the case come
Porzingis,
playoff time.
Joel Embiid, the freakishly great players, even if you don't think of them physically that way, Tim Duncan or even KG or someone like that. You think of LeBron. LeBron is a physical freak, all those things. But no one's whole offense or scoring offense is predicated in the paint since Shaq, like
but
the
don't
Greek
convolute
Freak.
the issue. You can't teach 350. That's all I'm saying. You can't teach 350 come postseason time. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with any other points.
But, okay,
I'm saying you can't teach 350. There's a lot of beef, bro.
Fair enough.
That's a lot of beef.
You know how people say the game has changed? It's not about the big man in the paint anymore. That's true.
In the postseason, it will be.
But it's still about the paint. You still must get to the painted area. If it's off the dribble, a post, whatever it is, you still got to do that to collapse the offense at times. It can't just all be three-pointers. That helps your three-point game. What I'm saying is this. What if the Greek Freak, who has a different way of getting to the paint than Shaq, obviously, what if the Greek Freak thrives in the playoffs? Are you ready then to call him Superman?
Well, then call me when it happens.
Okay, good.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying that? He already averaged 25, 9, and 6 in the playoffs. That's not shabby. I'm simply saying that when it came time, it didn't matter what time of the game is. Last second, first second, 350 pounds is a problem. Now, with the Greek Freak, let's see as the game wanes, because of his inability to hit perimeter shots, if he'll be able to get to the basket with that level of ease in the postseason.
Who was the closer on the Shaq team, Stephen A? Who was the closer?
Excuse me?
Who was the closer on those great Shaq teams in LA?
Well, I'd say Kobe, but it's still like, it's not like Shaq didn't get him there either.
I like Chris Middleton a whole lot, but he ain't Kobe Bryant. You can't, if the Greek Freak goes off and gets bumped in the second round, you can't hold that against him.
All right, whatever. Let's move on because we got boxing to get to.
Yeah,
you keep talking, we won't even get to that.
Michael joins us now from the newly named Footprint Center in Phoenix. Michael, that alley-oop is going to be the thing we see over and over again here. The clinching play in Game 5, as the block was in Game 4. But that big three, Michael, that doesn't get the shine for whatever reason that a lot of other big threes are up near historic numbers tonight, 88 points in Game 5. How do you put their performance into context?
It was virtually flawless. I mean, Tim Legler alluded to it already, other than some missed free throws from Giannis late in the game. And actually won by Middleton as well to sort of let Phoenix back in this. To get that big three to play that well in a game on the road, I mean, you don't want to have to come back here for Game 7, even if you win Game 6 at home, for those three to play like that. And Drew Holiday started it. I mean, he was just all over Chris Paul defensively early. It was sort of amazing that Chris, with whatever was ailing him with that hand, was able to play himself back into Chris Paul form late. And I think he hit all three of his threes in this game as well. But Drew Holiday was so aggressive defensively, and that seemed to get him going offensively. And then by the time Middleton got into it in the middle third of the game, and then Giannis late as the closer, again, except the free throws, I don't know how you can expect for any big three to play better than the Bucks' big three did tonight.
They get 32 from Giannis, 29 from Chris Middleton, 27 from Drew Holiday in the win. Michael, on the other side, Phoenix shoots 55% from the field. They shoot 62% from three-point range in their building, and they lose. Monty Williams, who's been so good with messages to his team in this series and all season long. I mean, what's the message to your team after you lose with that kind of a performance?
Yeah, I don't know where they go. They're going to have to dig a place deeper than most of those players on the Suns have ever dug before or even tried to. I mean, Chris Paul has been in close to this situation. The rest have not. They've got to dig someplace really deep to sort of, not to motivate themselves. I mean, you see how this team, how hard they played, how resolute they were late when it looked like they had no chance to come back. But now they've got to do this again. You got to go get how many points for Devin Booker? You know, I had the pleasure of sitting next to Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas tonight to watch this game here in Phoenix. And I remember I said to Isaiah, if Booker doesn't get 45 or more, they can't win this game. They were just so far down, and people were chipping in a little bit at a time. I know Ayton had 20 points and 10 rebounds, but he wasn't the force that we've seen earlier in this series or in other playoff series this season, this postseason for Phoenix. So where do you go? And it's going to be interesting what it is they come up with. Maybe, and this may be the important thing, we saw Chris Paul look like Chris Paul again. Again, hurting. I know he's not going to talk about it. I don't know that anybody outside the team knows specifically, you know, how badly Chris is hurting and what's going on with that hand, but something is. But he played his way through it. And can he start in that place in Game 6 in Milwaukee, a game now that the Suns have to have? Remember, the Phoenix Suns have not faced elimination. They've only trailed once in this postseason, 2-1 to the Lakers before they took the Lakers out with 3 consecutive wins. So the Suns...
And D. Wade from the 2012 Heat team, Milwaukee 1 game away from winning the title, just like that Miami team. What changed after that first quarter when the Bucks were down 16 and it looked like the Suns were just going to run away with this game?
Well, Drew Holiday put this team on his back in the first half, and I'll tell you what, if he doesn't play that well in the first half, they're probably down 20 going into the locker room, and I don't think they're coming back from that. So for me, this was Drew Holiday's night from the start. You could see his aggressiveness, and they're a different team when he plays this aggressively, and he doesn't always shoot the ball well. We know he was 4 for 20 in the last game, but I think more importantly, he took 20 shots because he's in that mindset of trying to play like a star. And you know you're going to get certain things out of Giannis and Chris Middleton. Drew Holiday, to me, is the guy that can fluctuate. And in this game, his aggressiveness from the beginning, he got into his mid-range, he got to the rim, he shot deep threes. He was feeling it at a time when the Phoenix Suns were scoring every trip down the floor. Jrue Holiday kept his team's head above water, kept him within striking distance, and gave other guys an opportunity in that second half, Giannis and Chris Middleton at the top of that list, to then get them back into it, where now they had 3 stars operating at the same time, 88 points between their 3 best players. If you're Phoenix, you just can't overcome that when a team has their 3 best players play that well offensively. It was almost a perfect game, except for the free throws late by Giannis. Other than that, the Milwaukee Bucks really can't play any better offensively than they did tonight. Jrue Holiday was a huge part of that.
I mean, it's incredible. Like you said, when you have 3 guys performing at that level of 32 points, 29 points, 27 points, that's hard to take down. Also hard to take down is Devin Booker. He had back-to-back 40-point games, but both were in a loss. How devastating is it for this Phoenix team to get that from your best player and then still lose?
Yeah, and it hurts. It hurts a lot, and I think it also tells you a little bit about where the Phoenix Suns are right now in this process. You know, this is a team that's probably still going to need another legitimate star perimeter player to go with Devin Booker if they really want to win a title at some point. Now, look, they're not out of this series. They've got 2 games to win, but if someone doesn't step up in a big way, and, you know, Chris Paul played well late in this game, but for the most part, he was quiet most of the night. DeAndre Ayton is going to get most of his offense created for him. Devin Booker was the one guy that was out there doing his thing and creating offense. He did it again in the previous game. But when you don't have enough help, and now you're going up against a team that has 3 guys playing like all league players, the way that the Bucks had tonight, it's just too much to overcome. So yes, it's demoralizing, it's deflating, and you wonder, you know, does Devin Booker have another game like this in him? It's really incredible the way that he has played. But you can't blame him if he finally has an off night. And if he does, where is the offense going to come from to offset what Milwaukee is throwing at them right now? Because they're throwing haymakers at them offensively. Devin Booker's going to need more help than he got tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, it was great to see Chris Paul get more involved from his 10-point performance in Game 4, 21 today. But if you're going to try to keep up with the Bucks, that would just not be enough. Tim Legler, thank you so much. So the Bucks trailed by 16 after 12 minutes in this one. Milwaukee is the second team in finals history to win despite a deficit that large at the end of the first quarter, joining the 2008 Celtics. The Bucks shot 71 this one. Milwaukee is the second team in finals history to win despite a deficit that large at the end of the first quarter, joining the 2008 Celtics. The Bucks shot 71.
Wilbon joins us